Hello there, YouTube. I am here to talk about the Corsair fan that I'm trying to work on. It's the QX120 RGB. So this is a 120 mil fan. However, in most fan cases that I've ever seen is that on the back of the fans, there's usually a little cap here that holds the fan in place. However, one of the interesting parts about this fan is that I would normally, in order to like re-lubricate a fan or to redo the lubrication in the fan stuff, there normally would be a cap there, and then there would be kind of like another thing there to cover, and I could take the fan blade off and I can re-lube everything, and Bob's your auntie. However, from the serviceability of these fans, I was able to get it apart into its major components. So like this, so I was able to. I haven't done this before, so I was able to take apart pretty much 80% of the fan, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So forgive my awkward camera angling. So see that cap? It's actually fused in the back, so you cannot take a cap off and re-lubricate the fan. This design to me shows that it's not serviceable here to the customer. So like say if I wanted to service this myself, because this fan was making a grinding sound, it sounded like it was grinding on itself, and there is kind of a PSA that I do want to put out there, is that this fan, and I'm not too sure if anybody else has ever had this issue, but needless to say, this fan, I loved the reviews on it. I really loved it, and just seeing how beautiful these fans really are, especially in my Corsair 9000D airflow case. It really blends in. It has a nice light strip on the sides of it. And while we're here, I'll show you all the parts that I've been able to get it down to. This is like the LED array. So what I find interesting is that there's pins on the inside of there. Let's see here if I can get it to come on, focus. Thank you. So there's like pins right there that connect to like this part here on the corner in that socket. So that's where it gets the power for the LEDs. And so far I've been able to, oh look at that, I can actually take the diffuser off, and all it is it's like one of those like light strips that's been bent and put in and given a power plug to plug into the main part. So we have that, which is the LED array that's held in by a plastic frame on the sides. Then you have your diffusers. So here we'll just do it like this. So that diffuser there, this here, that there, and then you have your outer case here. And then you have your cover for the temperature sensor. And then you have your, where you would like snap into the other fan, because these do have magnets in them. If you're curious to see what the magnets look like, they're just placed in there in the frame, so that way you can magnetically have another fan there. The design is quite nice. However, the thing that throws me off is the serviceability of the fan itself. Because I know that there's a lot of people out there that like to take these fans apart to service them themselves, especially when this starts spinning like this. This fan was spinning like this slow, and just going around, just this really annoying grinding sound. It was spinning like that, and it caused the rest of my fans, the 19 other fans that I have in my case, to spew up to the point that it sounded like a jet engine. And with that, it scared me. I was like, great, this is in the middle of my 3-fan radiator. This thing's, grinding to make the other fans spew up so fast that it sounds like a jet engine. What do I do? So I ended up turning off my computer and kind of moving a fan that I had in my computer down to the middle one where the radiator is. In fact, here, I will show you the computer. So here's my PC. The middle fan on the bottom was the fan that I have taken apart right now to see whether or not if I could service it. However, the middle one is the one that was causing the issues. That radiator used to be pushed all the way to the back. Now, what I did was there was a fan on the front to kind of keep it to the 4-fan layout for the top, 3-fan on the bottom, and that's when I moved the front fan to the middle. So I was able to do all that, and my computer is staying roughly cool, and staying nice and cool and all that. And I also did some more wire management. So instead of the 24-pin grommet coming out of the not 24-pin grommet, then instead of the 24-pin power cord coming out of one of those grommets there, I was able to fish it behind my motherboard to kind of give it a more cleaner look. And same goes for the power for the CPU. So I've been kind of tinkering around, making wires kind of disappear and mold into the motherboard, so that way it looks uniform. So last thing is to tackle the white tube for my water cooler, and that'll be that, and I'll be able to make all of this look beautiful. Because I plan on getting a new graphics card eventually, and kind of being able to do all that. Now putting you back down to the desk side of things. So as I moved all the fans around just to make it work, I contacted Corsair, and because this is under a 5-year warranty, I was able to contact them and go, hey, this is what's going on. I explained it to them and said, hey, my fan is making these sounds. It's, spinning like this fast, and it's just not doing well. Fortunately, Corsair responded to me, and they were able to get me a replacement, and that's being shipped today. So I have a tracking number. So if you ever have any problems with the fans, the QX120s, the RGBs like this, just know that you cannot service them, especially on the fact that you can't take this off, and you can't add like oil or lubrication to this to make it better. So you can't do that. And yeah. So that's the kind of the PSA that I'm putting out there. I don't typically do these types of videos because, well, I'm into just showing some gameplay every so often of my games. which that will return eventually. I just wanted to get this out there because I haven't seen any other videos that have this type of, taken apart of a fan to show, this is how it all works. So, with this being said, I'm going to put this back together on cam so that we can kind of see how things go back together again. And then I'll end the video with kind of a review on the fan to kind of give the honest opinion on how I think that these fans are. So while I put this together, I'm going to do the review actually, so that way I'm not, quiet and attempting to put a fan back together. So let me get my bit, which by the way, this screwdriver kit from Corsair is pretty cool. It's nice. It's very comfortable to do this, and I like the fact that it has this flat piece on it. So there's like a flat piece there that if I need to, I can put it here and grab it and just so yeah. So these fans that I got them because, well, I wanted to read out temperature sensors in my computer. So I immediately went on research mode and researching, what fans that I can get that have temperature sensors in them. So I eventually stumbled across Corsair, and I've always known about Corsair, so it's not like it's old news. And I discovered that they came out with the IQ Link system, which, I'm going to be honest, I really like the Link system because it gives you kind of control over what goes on. Let's see if I can actually do this. This is my first time taking apart this fan, so bear with me. So when it comes to the temperature readouts, everything, I want to see where the computer is temperature wise. Okay, there we go. Let me see here. Oh, okay. So that covers the pins. So I need to use the side that doesn't cover the pins. Got it. That works. And I will say that the fans that I selected, because again, I want to read out the temperature of my computer. I want to see where the heat is, where the heat's coming from, where the heat's being produced, all that. And just to kind of see what's going on, instead of having to go, okay, my processor is overheating. Where is this heat coming from? How can I get this to work? Stuff like that. And, well, I had the older generation of Corsair fans, meaning I used to have the ones with the big commander core, where it would be two wires, one for the power, one for the RGB, and you get your just basic stuff with it, and it doesn't really show you the temperatures of your computer, and it was a nightmare. That old stuff reminds me of like the rat's nest in the 1990s and early 2000s. Just, it reminded me of the rat's nest, and I really didn't like it. But I stuck with it for a while, and well, once I heard about the Corsairs, I forgot a part. Once I heard about Corsair's link system, I immediately looked at it and went, that's what I've been kind of wanting, is to be able to link up these fans into a configuration where I can actually have the ability to not have all these freaking wires. I'm like, I want my computer to look clean on the back. I want it to look clean on the front. I don't want to have to use hundreds of zip ties to get my computer to look good, and have to color coordinate and have to do all this stuff and label stuff, because those stickers on the Corsair wires wouldn't stay on. So I had to actually physically label them with duct tape. Quack. Where I'd have to write RGB and Sharpie, power, and all that stuff. Those stickers never stayed, and that was the annoying part. So I had to, figure out a way to do all that. So I eventually figured out a way to do all that, and just stuck with it for years until, again, the Corsair Links came out. And when those came out, I was like, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let me actually just do it this way, do it in reverse. And I was just sitting there going, okay. And then I watched a few YouTube videos on it. This was like right at the time that they came out. So I watched a couple of YouTube videos on it and found that I really loved them. I really loved the functionality of them and the fact that I could read out my temperatures. There we go. And just, it was beautiful. I liked it. So I went out on Corsair.com, bought these fans, including the radiator, which is the IQ Link Titan. And when I bought those, and they were shipped, which again, shipping was kind of a nightmare because, well, I didn't understand how it all worked, because it was my first time buying from the company. Okay, there we go. Okay. And then, well, okay. And then after buying it from the company, I waited patiently for it all to show up, including my new case, which was the 9000D. And then when it all showed up and I put all my computer components from the old case into it. Oh, wait a minute. Did I figure out what the problem was? Let me take this diffuser off really quick. Unless if I did this wrong. Let's see here. I may have figured it out a little bit. I think what happened was something shifted in here. This actually might not be a lubrication issue. This actually might be a fault of this fan. Of the cover plates. Let's see here. Okay, that's... Okay. That's all flushed now. Let me see here. But yeah, I wanted to have fans that looked great. There we go. But yeah, the construction of these fans are pretty cool, pretty good. It's just, again, that nub. But once I installed the fans into the case and transferred my rig over and turned it on and saw the temperatures and everything, and I was just like, wow. And seeing my computer get cooler, I was like, oh my goodness, this is really cool. I'm glad to actually be able to read out my computer and see what it is that's going on with it. So I became very happy with my purchase, and once this issue happened with my fans becoming an issue, I just was like, oh my gosh, why is my computer sounding like a jet engine? It's never sounded like this before. And see, when I tried to remove the sticker here to see whether or not there was a cap there that I needed, but once I saw none, I was like, okay, so this is just a snap and fit. But either way, the other fans are working great still, and I think this fan was a dud, or at least it was not properly lubricated and just wasn't doing very well to begin with. So there we go. So I think this fan was kind of, well, see, there goes the magnet. So I think this fan was constructed correctly because everything came apart really easily and nothing was jammed. I think it's just they didn't put enough lubrication on the in the motor, so that way it could last a couple of years or a few years before having to get a new one. But either way, with the email I sent out to Corsair's customer support, and you have to kind of find it, but once you do, which I could link you the website link down in the description below, so that way you yourself, if you have any problems with your Corsair fans or products that are underneath their 5-year warranty, then I would advise that you just email them. So if you provide your invoice, a screenshot of your invoice and a screenshot of your purchase date, you should be able to get a replacement, and it'll be free of charge, and you'll be able to you'll be able to keep your old part. And when the guy said, you can keep your own old part, just recycle it on how you will, I was like, I'm gonna take this thing apart and see what's going on with it, see if I can maybe do something and get this thing to work again, so that way this could be like a backup. But as far as I can see, there's no real way to take these things apart without essentially damaging it. And I've already messed up the stickers on it, some of the plastics kind of scratched. But either way, I'm just going to chalk this up to that this fan was built correctly, because again, there wasn't any parts that came off incorrectly or didn't look like any problems with jammed parts where it was just impossible to take it off. The only part that I had an issue with was the back cap. So that's on there pretty damn tight. And I can see why, because, dust and all that. I don't want it getting in the back of the fan. Because I thought this was originally a dust issue. So I dusted this fan off pretty well and blew it with a vacuum cleaner. at Kirby. Switched it over to blow mode, and no jokes on that, please. And I ended up dusting the fan out completely to the point that all the dust was gone. So I didn't need to use rubbing alcohols and or chemicals or water or anything like that. Other than that, this was easy to take apart to the point where I could actually get it to down to just the frame with the fan on it. However, if you do end up getting these fans, or if you have them, just be on the lookout for the sounds of the fans. If it doesn't sound normal, like it's spinning normally, like really fast, and it sounds great, nice and quiet, no noise coming out of it besides air, then you're good. But if you hear the sound like this, and it's spinning like this, and it doesn't stop, but it just spins really slow and just looks like it's almost about ready to kill itself and die. And if it's spinning like this and making that sound, I would just take the fan out. And if you have like a replacement fan, you can replace it yourself for a temporary fix. Contact Corsair and go, hey, this is what's going on with my QX120 fan, and this is the issues, these are the symptoms. Here's my proof of purchase, here's my invoice, here's the screenshot of my order list. And once you get that, and you send a screenshot of like your in the IQ program, I screenshotted my parts that I have in the computer case, so that way it proves that I have one of these installed. And then once you do that, they'll ask you for your shipping address and your info, your name, your number, your shipping address. And once you provide that information, you'll be able to get a replacement one of these. However, I wouldn't abuse it like some people would and say all my fans went out and I'm without a computer for a while, because I can see that system being easily abused, and I don't want people to see this video and go, well, if I say one goes out, maybe I can say all of them go out and I can get all new fans. At that point, I would say shame on you. But if it's just one fan, just ask for the one fan and see if it's good, and install it and just enjoy your day. Other than that, I would I'd just be on the lookout, because if this issue is happening with me, I'm highly doubting that this issue is just me. I believe that this issue might be happening to other people. So if you see this video and you hear, some of the symptoms that I had, if it matches, then you have your solution, which is to, again, email Corsair or submit a request or a form, submit something. I'll have to include the links in the description box below. Either way, I should really install those screws for my case for the doors. But with me, I'm going to be getting a new graphics card eventually, and I'm going to be upgrading it to the Asus Strix ROG 5070 Ti OC. So I'll be having, instead of 12 gigs of GDDR6, I'll have GDDR7, and I'll be able to, because right now I'm operating on the GeForce RTX Gigabyte 3060 OC edition, which is the 12 gig model. So I'm still on an older GPU. It's still kicking butt, but I'd like to get myself a little upgrade, so that way I can be kind of in the modern era. I'm still operating on a AMD Ryzen 7 8-core processor. Might upgrade that eventually. I'm on the AM4 platform because at this moment in time I know little to nothing about the AM5 platform, and here, instead of you just looking at that, you guys can look at me now. So I know nothing about the AM5 platforms, and I don't know how they work, and I'm kind of terrified of pins being in the CPU socket, and where you have to just take your processor and plop it on there and hope it works. I'm always a firm believer in like the firm connection. So say if there's a socket that has the really nice please don't make this a dirty joke. Please don't make this a dirty joke. But there's those sockets with the holes in them, and you put it in, you feel the solid connection with the AM5 platform with the processors. Just plopping it in, and it just, to me, that's not a good connection, even though that there's pressure plate that goes over it and it puts the pressure onto it so the way it is connected. I'm still a firm believer in the old gen. It's a plug, and you're plugging in your processor into this pretty intricate plug, and you're putting down the handle, and it secures it, and it's in there. So with this, I'm going to say that these fans are worth it as long as they are working correctly. The warranty on it, 5 years warranty, is a great warranty, and upon contacting them, and they replied within like an hour or two, and in a written email saying, hey, hell, this is what they said to me, and I will read off my email to them. So I originally have said, so you guys can kind of get an idea on how this is going to work. So I went to, let's see. Oh, that's going to be a long link to read. So help.corsair.com, email customer service, technical support. All I did was email customer service, and then once I emailed them that, I was able to say, so my fans all seem to work except for one. I dust my PC a lot and take care of my stuff, and about a day ago, my rad fan, my radiator fan for my Titan cooler, started to make sounds, and making the rest of the fans go faster, to the point my PC sounded like a jet engine. The symptoms are: 1, the fan would grind like the motor's going out. 2, the fan slowed down, pushing little to no air through my radiator. 3, all the rest of the fans would go faster, resulting in my PC was 20 plus fans, now it's 19 fans, sounding like a jet engine. I would like to get a replacement fan, as this should be under the 5-year warranty. I am worried that the rest of my fans might be defective now. If one goes out, then I worry the rest, as my paranoia is now high. I got these fans because of all the YouTube vids I watched, and hearing so much about how good these fans are, and I bought them. So I hope that all I would need is a single fan replacement. and not a 20 fan replacement. I thank you ahead of time for reaching out to me. This as this is important for me to know what I bought works and works right. And of course I included, attachments. And then they replied, "Thank you for your patience. It would be my pleasure to have a single fan replacement sent to you. Please provide the information that I've requested below. Please confirm your current full shipping address, telephone number using the template below. Your info, name, phone, shipping address, street 1, street 2, street 3, city, state, zip code, and country. Feel free to reach out. If you have any additional questions, feel free to post about your experience with Corsair support on Trustpilot. They give you a link. Regards, Will." Also, Will, if you're watching this, I do want to say thank you for taking my ticket number, and thank you for helping me out with this, because it is important to know that what I get works, and it's important that I know that my stuff is taken care of, and that the products that I buy from you all will keep my other stuff, like my CPU, nice and cool, and keep the air moving. So your timely response was very much appreciated, and thank you for your help on that. I'm going to say that you deserve a raise. You deserve something I wish I could give to you and all that. And then I replied, with, "Hello, Will. Thank you for your timely response. Sure, here's my info. Da 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 da. So, thank you so much for your help in resolving the issue. Will I get a tracking number? Question mark. I've never done this before, so I'm unsure how this works. Again, thank you for your help, and hope that you have a great rest of your week. My name. Hello, my name. You're very welcome. There will be a tracking number once the replacement ships, and it will be sent automatically via this email within 1 to 2 days of receiving this email. I just went ahead and processed the order to have the replacement fan set out. This was created in a way that does not require the return of the original fan. Once you have received the replacement fan, please recycle the original in whichever way you choose. I hope you have a great rest of your week as well." And I said, "That's great, thank you very much." And I got an email saying, "We've shipped your replacement order." They gave me the carrier, the tracking link, and the tracking number. "Thank you for choosing Corsair. Kind regards, Corsair Customer Service." So that all was able to be handled within an hour. And I'm going to say this, I'm very proud of that, and proud of the fact that this worked out. And I look forward to seeing that new fan, and I look forward to installing it so I have my fans again. So that really touched me, and I'm I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm blown away by the responses and how nice and kind the customer service people were. So, out of the customer service rating, I'd rank it out a 10 out of 10, because of it was resolved within a really fast time period. Besides all that, we're just going to see how fast shipping goes, and I might do an update video of installing the new fan. So I hope that you guys enjoyed hanging out with me for the 40 minutes, and I hope that you all enjoy your night and the rest of your week. I will be uploading videos when I get my new graphics card and I can actually do some better editing. and better stuff with my videos. I've been losing weight, so I'm happy about that. Getting better. You can actually start to see a little bit of my chin line a little bit. I'm actually kind of happy about that. So yeah, I'm working on my health, working on getting things better. Got a new bed, so I'm happy about that. Very comfy. Other than that, everything's good. So have yourselves a wonderful night and the rest of your week. This is A.K.R. Productions signing off. Bye bye now.